Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mystical Awakenings. Normally with Deb and Arjay, but tonight only Deb. Arjay again is not feeling all that great. There's so many things going around. I mean, he's not sick. He's just, we're being cautious. So many health problems. But anyways, we are here on KGRA. I'm always excited and happy about that. It's like my favorite place to be and my favorite place to tune in. So, hello, Val, and hello, Curtis. So I'm excited tonight. We have a really all-around great guest tonight. I don't even know how to describe him, so I'm just going to, read his bio a bit. First I have to find it. See, normally RJ does this. Jason is an esteemed author, director, and animal photojournalist who has traveled the globe, capturing the essence of diverse individuals and their exotic wildlife companions. Yes, he has. His acclaimed documentary film series, Searching for Sasquatch, is available for streaming worldwide on platforms such as Tubi, Amazon Prime Video, and Plex TV. Since 2019, Jason has dedicated himself to unraveling the enigmatic lore of Bigfoot and other cryptids. Armed solely with a camera and a flashlight, he plunges fearlessly into the darkness of the forest, resolute in his quest to solve the mystery of Bigfoot. Jason also has had UFO experiences. We've talked about it, and you can tune in to him on multiple platforms. So, everybody, I am so honored to introduce
Hello, hey.
Jason Kenzie.
Hi.
So good to see you again.
I'm so glad to be here.
Yes. Now, you've been on the show a time or two.
We go way back.
We go way back. Our first meeting was actually, I was contacted by, I think it was Sherry, asking, can we show up at your UFO contact? Sure. And then the next day, I get this crazy video call on Sherry's phone, from Sherry's phone, and it was you, and I thought, who the heck is this guy? And I think that we kind of just had that instant laughing connection, and I've adored you since.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's great. I adore you too.
Thank you. And you're so talented. We talked for a brief moment before the show, and, I totally respect what you do. I totally admire what you do, but I do have my moments, and I already told you this, so it's not a surprise that I say he is crazy. Some of the predicaments that you get yourself into. Do you have any fear, Jason?
I don't know why you think I'm crazy. It's not like, I go, head first into the dark forest towards, creatures that are 9 feet tall and 900 pounds that could just rip you apart in a heartbeat.
Right.
Crazy? How could I be crazy doing that? Yes. The answer to that question is all the time. I get scared all the time. And it's kind of good I get scared because it keeps me on my toes. The one thing I don't do, though, is I won't run, not right away. I could be scared. I could be standing there shaking. But until I kind of realize what's happening and what it is I'm looking at, it depends on if I'm going to run for it or not.
Right.
If it's a bear or a cougar, turning your back on those creatures could be fatal. So
Sure.
You have to kind of assess the situation and back out. The best thing you can do with those animals is basically just put your hands up and look bigger than the animal. And of course, because I'm 8 feet tall, what's that?
Have you had that happen?
Oh yeah. If if I had a dime for every time that I've walked up on like a cougar or a bear, I'd have at least
Hmm.
cents. No, actually, I probably have at least, $3 at least, because I like bears, especially just walking up, or they come out of the forest and just they slumber right across the forest. Sometimes they don't even acknowledge you're there. They just walk
Really?
across. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I have not had that experience up close. I mean, we do go out into the forest and we do hope that we will find some evidence or possibly see Bigfoot. But it was a couple of years ago. RJ and we set up some cameras and we were doing some other things and we're walking down this trail and I said, you know what? We don't have any way to protect ourselves. So what are we going to do? Maybe we should have a plan. What are we going to do if we come face to face with one? And we both just started laughing because we realized, we would probably make a mess and then pass out. So,
So yeah, you know what? Jason Kenzie's 101 on what to do if, a Bigfoot comes walking out in front of you. You just, you take your thumb, stick it in your mouth, fall down, and just curl up in a ball and just start crying. Just, just please don't eat me.
that's probably exactly what would happen. But I've also seen some of your documentaries with some of the exotic animals. It wasn't too long ago you had this great big snake wrapped around you.
Yeah, and you know what? Just recently I had that. Just recently when I was in the Ozarks, Dano, which is also a Bigfoot researcher, and he writes books, and he's also a wildlife photographer. And may I say, Dano is an amazing wildlife photographer, and he rescued this huge snake. I'd say it was probably about 10 feet long,
Oh my.
and he brought it out, and it was a reticulated python, and put it around me, and yeah, I've got some great shots of it. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, I've dealt with a lot of animals in my time. I studied a lot of the dangerous animals, the
Mhm.
ones that are venomous, the ones that are poisonous, the ones that could do harm to you. I was more fascinated about those animals than the non-lethal ones. Like as a teenager, I'm like a deer. Why do I need to know anything about deer? Well, it wasn't until Bigfoot, when I started researching Bigfoot, that if you have knowledge of the deer migrating and what year that they rut and what year that they give birth, that is a great thing to know when you're out researching Bigfoot, because deer, I believe, is one of the biggest food source of these Bigfoot creatures.
Mhm.
So I've been reading a lot about, like if I go to an area to research not just Bigfoot, but other creatures, I go and I study the animals in that area, find out what's there, what kind of food source, just for my safety too. So I know
Mhm.
what to look for.
Right. And in my understanding, and I grew up, I spent most of my life going into the woods, the forest, never really having a fear of it.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I've realized a few things. Some of these animals that we think are so sweet and innocent mostly are,
Yeah.
but not totally. I mean, deer, when they're in rut and you get in their way, you're liable to have a horn or an antler through you.
Yeah.
They do get a little bit funny. So,
Well, here in
I
Canada, the
say,
most dangerous animal here in Canada is the moose,
right.
right? The
Ooh.
moose is pretty deadly,
Yeah, and
right?
they're so beautiful. Who would think they would be deadly?
Yeah, exactly.
So, do they like attack for no reason
Yep,
or
they can. They're very territorial for sure. And if
really?
they're they're mating, or if they're rutting, or they're looking for a mate, they can just come after you for no reason at all.
Huh.
You know, you could just be walking through. Like I remember one time I was on a bridge, and I'm looking over into the bridge, and I look up, and I see a baby moose and a mother. So I go running. I jump over the bridge and I go running into the forest, and these two animals go booking through the forest, and I was shocked of how fast and how they can maneuver through the trees as fast as they do, because I'm tripping, because I just wanted to get a good shot of the baby, not realizing how dangerous they were at the time.
Wow. Yeah, you say you see a baby and I get all, oh.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. And the baby is still, almost 6 feet tall.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you might want to use a little caution. So in all of your excursions and all of your Bigfoot stuff and all of that, how many times would you say, or let's say your life, you have had some sort of experience or contact or sightings of UFOs?
So, I one time I watched, there was a light in the sky, and it was chasing another light. And then it turned like really fast. Like it was chasing, and then it turned. And then the other one chased it. And it went so fast. And it was just two lights in the sky, like way up there. I thought it was a satellite at first. Just recently, not too long ago, I was in the Ozark Mountains, and there's maybe 10 of us sitting around a fire. And we're all looking at we're just looking up at all the satellites going by. Then way off in the distance, there was this bright light that was going across the sky, coming towards us. And it was much lower. And we're debating, I'm like, is that a satellite? It's so bright. And I'm like, someone goes, oh, it's a plane. I said, I don't know. They don't have those two lights that flicker, right? The red light and the blue light. And the white light, that flickers as it goes, and it's going really fast. And we're watching it, and it got really almost above me. And I had a flashlight, one of those powerful flashlights that have the beam of light. So I started flashing it, and you can see the beam of light hitting it as it's going. And it literally goes right over us, and it's really low in the sky. And I'm like, guys, listen, if it's a plane, we don't hear nothing. And then I look over, I said, look, see way over there, that's a plane. And you could clearly see the difference. Right. And it goes literally over top of me, and I'm flashing it, and then I'm watching it, and we turn, and it kept going. Then all of a sudden, boom, it was gone. Just like that. It just disappeared. It was a pretty amazing experience to see. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and that was only in the summer.
How exciting, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So I know for myself, I can't help but try to put the puzzle together. And I think there's connection between, and this is only my opinion, I have no proof, but between many of the paranormal things. And oftentimes when we are trying to find some evidence or trying to see something of Bigfoot, we also get orbs or lights in the sky or something, and vice versa. So, to me, there is a connection. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I've seen the orbs of light in the forest many times. Just recently, just in my most recent Bigfoot documentary that I just launched not too long ago, like last month, we actually captured an orb. We were looking at a red orb. It looked almost looked like a tail light of a car.
Oh.
but we were so deep in the forest, and the vehicles that we had been driving in were behind us. And we're looking at this light, and then all of a sudden, I'm running to try and catch up to say, hey, hello, I'm friendly. If you're a Bigfoot, don't eat me. Like, I'm just running, trying to catch up. And then all of a sudden I look down, I jump a log, and there's this huge footprint right in the mud. And I'm like, it was like I have a squirrel brain. I'm like, oh my gosh, hello, light, look, Bigfoot, footprint, and forgot about the light completely. But we caught it on camera, actually, the light. And earlier, about maybe 10 minutes before that, I had seen a creature stick its head out from behind a tree. And you see the eyes shine as it stuck its head out, and my beam of light came around and it hit it. And it was like, like as if I had, I got busted, and it went behind a tree. And then we walked really quick to the tree to go behind it. And when we walked behind it, there on the ground was a little teepee, like a little teepee made out of a little structure that was on the ground. It was actually pretty cool. But yeah, I've seen the orbs of light many times. Mm-hmm. Doing paranormal investigations out in the forest in an area where it's like you get the Indian mounds. Yeah. And we've seen the lights like moving through the forest. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Some people believe they're fairies sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and how can we rule that out? I think there's many different things. In my mind, we have elementals and we have interdimensionals, and we have all kinds of different things that we don't necessarily always see with the human eye.
Yeah.
So can there be a connection? Well, you and I have had a few talks about things like this.
Yeah.
And that's why part of the reason, not the whole reason, but part of the reason I wanted to have you on tonight is to announce to our audience that I'm so excited that you, Jason Kenzie, will be joining us at Michigan UFO Contact this year in Houghton Lake, Michigan, and you will be speaking.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Yay! I'm so happy about that, because I think that, bringing different angles in is so important. And you do have that different angle. It's not really what you do. You're not out there saying, oh, let's get some UFO sightings. But in your work, it's happening. So let's figure this out.
I would really like to see a UFO 50 feet away from me. Like, I'm talking close. Because a lot of the UFO sightings that people tell me about are like dots in the sky. Mm-hmm. But myself, I mean, I've seen that too. Just, like the dots, the weird, like I said, the one that was chasing the other one. Mm-hmm. I actually have that on video. I didn't capture it though. There was another researcher that actually was filming it. Mm-hmm. But I would love to see a UFO like up close, very close. That would be very exciting and scary at the same time. Oh, but yeah. I've talked to many eyewitnesses who have seen UFOs up close, and after the UFO left, that Bigfoot creatures had come out of the forest.
Right.
So I've interviewed quite a few people who had encounters with these Bigfoot creatures right after seeing a UFO, which is quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think because of all of this, you are going to bring a lot to the conference that will help people understand and open minds. As I said, people go out and they're ghost hunting, or they're cryptid hunting, or they have their goal. And Arjay and I actually, we were paranormal researchers for many years, ghost hunters.
Yeah. But
we've always had some off and on crazy contacts as well. Mm-hmm. And after a while, you start to realize, there's a connection here.
Yeah.
So I think that you are really good for that. It's, I'm so excited. Thank you for agreeing to come and talk to people. And I know that, you and your whole group of people, your friends, I think they will all be there.
I hope so.
Last year, I mean, you guys were amazing. We had such fun. And then you took off and it was like, oh, it was so sad.
Yeah, well, I'm going to put it in my next, like, it's going to be probably in this documentary that I'm editing at the moment, because it was part of that adventure
Mhm.
of when I was out there doing the expedition. There'll be a little snippet of the UFO conference in that. And if not, then I'm going to put it in this one, when I'm speaking. I'm going to be going out filming
Mhm.
when I'm out there with you also, because I think we should go out into the forest and do some research out there.
Absolutely. Sounds like fun to me.
Yeah. And
I'm up for it.
if we can find a couple people that run slower than me, then I'm good. I have no problem. Let's go out there.
I can tell you, I don't know if RJ ever told you, but he always says, if as long as you take me out to the woods with you, you're safe, because you can run while I'm standing there and it's going to attack me.
Yeah.
So he's your guy for sure.
Yeah, I could just see it now. I'm like, Jason, why aren't you running? Well, RJ's back there. I'm fine. You hear him screaming?
Right.
We'll be right there. Okay, we'll find you. Damn it,
Oh my
he
God.
has the car keys.
So you're going to have everybody rolling. Sometimes I can't even have a messenger conversation with you without just cracking up. I love your humor. I love your light heart. You're such a cool dude. But so how did you get involved with the She Squatch?
The She Squatchers. Well, so when I first, when I first put out my first Bigfoot documentary, a lot of people were talking about all the footprints that I found in that lake. And the documentary went viral. And then I decided I was going to do a second one. So I did a second one. Then the Michigan Bigfoot Conference, they had contacted me and asked if I wanted to speak at their conference. So they brought me out to their conference, and the She Squatchers were out there.
Oh.
And the She Squatchers was one of the first people who got me on their podcast.
They're so awesome.
I had talked to them prior to that, and then found out they were going to be at the Bigfoot conference. And that was the first time I got to meet them. And it was so much fun. I never laughed so hard. Like, we just laugh so much, and they take it quite seriously. And so do I. But we, in between it, we're always kind of just, trying to keep ourselves calm by, joking and just keeping it, until things start really happening. And then it's like, okay, what's happening? Okay. But yeah, and that's how I met them. And I just wanted to, help them out at the same time as, help me, help them, help me, and just struck out a really good friendship. And we've been on quite a few Bigfoot expeditions, and we've come across a lot of really cool stuff. As you can see in my Bigfoot documentaries, we get so close and to whatever these creatures are. And we get scared together, and I can outrun Tammy, so I feel very safe. Sorry, Tammy.
Bonus.
God, she's gonna tell me.
You guys are my people. I can outrun at least one of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's great. And like I said, for everyone watching this, if you guys don't know who the She Squatchers are, they're a all-female Bigfoot research team, and they're super nice, super friendly. Reach out to them. They will, go out of their way to chat with you, and so yeah. So come to the conference, and
Yes. Well, rumor has it, I don't know, rumor has it that they might possibly be there and even have a table set up so people can talk to
Yeah.
them. And who knows what else. But,
The
you know,
legend of the She Squatchers being at the UFO con.
I know last year like I said, we had a riot with you guys. And then all of a sudden you hear about fairies or something and you all disappeared.
Yes. Oh, yes. We went to the fairy ring. Like there was a
Yes, you
fairy
did.
ring. Yeah, I
Mhm.
know. We were pretty active there at your conference, and then all of a sudden we were gone. Yeah,
Right.
we went.
I thought maybe you were interdimensional or something because poof, you were gone.
Yeah, I know. Me too. 1 minute I'm like going blah 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 blah. Poof! I'm in the bathroom. I'm like what the heck just happened? We
Right.
actually went to the fairy ring, and it was pretty amazing. It
Yeah.
was. Have you been out there to that
Oh,
ring?
yes. It's one of my favorite places. There's a lot of magic there.
Yeah.
Um, I'd love to hear your experiences because I don't think we even talked about it. Do
No,
you
not at all.
remember?
We did hear some, so it was some interesting sounds in the forest. Um, one of the more exciting things that happened was what was it? I think was it a possum? There was a possum or there was something that was climbing the tree. And I was so excited because it made so much noise, right? And when you're hype and you're, very excitable and, you're looking for a giant monster and suddenly there's you know, this thing climbing up the tree and we're like, oh my gosh, it's a Bigfoot and it's way smaller than I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was
Little
really exciting.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, exactly. But I was amazed how I did a time lapse all the way around the ring.
Hmm.
And it was just like this kind of a hill that went all the way around, and there was a big rock in the middle. And
Yeah.
so the she squatchers and the other two guys, they were in the middle of the ring by the rock, chanting and singing and just, feeling the energy. And here I am, 40 feet away with David Dominique looking for any sign of Bigfoot creatures. Like we're out there in the forest just looking around and just kind of enjoying the wilderness and enjoying just being out there in nature.
Hmm.
But yeah, you could definitely feel the energy out there.
Hmm. Yeah. As soon as, for me, anyways, when I get close, the energy starts to shift. And
Yeah,
as soon as I step in, I feel like I've stepped into a portal
yeah,
where the time is different. Everything is different. I'm a bit off balance. My skin is tingly. Um, sometimes I hear voices
yeah,
out there. So,
yeah, yeah. So,
yeah.
every once in a while I might hear voices. What was that? No, yeah. Hold up a second.
Right. And we take medication for that,
Yeah,
right?
me too. Yeah, but that well, Um, so this documentary I'm working on now, I went into another area in northern Michigan, and I was with David Dominique. And I was with two other, they were hunters and trackers, and we went out into the forest. They took us out into the forest, and I believe we were walking around like these Indian mounds out in this area, and wow, we found all these amazing tree structures, like trees that were like broken and wrapped around and tree X's and just little teepees. And we could see like creatures watching us. We could see the eyes shine. We could hear them moving around us. And at one point we're walking through the darkness of the forest and all of a sudden it felt as if something ran up on me. And it was like the wind. And I actually went, ah, like that. And I turned expecting it to be David,
Right.
and there was no one there. And it just came, I could
Oh,
feel the vibration as it was running, and I jumped. And as soon as I went, oh, what the? Um, one of the trackers, he was like, "Oh my God, oh, whoa, oh, something." It felt like something put their hands on me. At the same time as something ran up on me, it was like one after another instantly. And we came across, we were looking at this tree structure, and then another tree structure right behind it. And you could clearly see it was kind of weaved and kind of almost like a tree X. And after about, I would say maybe 5 to 8 minutes of looking at it and filming it, I said, okay, well, we better get going, because we could see that there were some things in the forest that were watching us. And as I took a step, I tripped and I looked down, and there was the only thing I can think of. It was all these sticks that were lined up like gifts or glyphs, almost like glyphs, the way they were like lined up, and there was a whole bunch of them. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But after that day, I've gone to other places, like in Florida recently, and saw the same kind of thing on the ground, almost like glyphs, where the sticks are put on the ground, almost like it's some kind of a ritual. Which, like I said, I mean, all this could have been done by humans. Of course, we were literally off trail and deeper. We're probably about maybe 100 feet, maybe 150 feet off the trail in the forest. So yeah, that was very exciting to experience that.
Wow. So can I ask you, when you see things like this, can you also feel it?
Well, there was one of my very first experiences was in the UP of Michigan, where I was in a hammock. And I'm sitting there, and it's late at night, and I strung the hammock like underneath this giant tree X, where one tree looked like it was kind of pushed over, or maybe by nature just fell over. But the other tree, and they were like 40 feet tall, the other tree looked like it was ripped out of the ground somewhere else and moved and placed. And then there was another tree on top. Anyway, I'm in the hammock, and in the middle of the night, something walked up, and I could feel the vibration. It stopped right in front, like right beside me, and grunted. And I could feel that the vibration of the grunt go right through me. And I literally started shaking uncontrollably. Like I just couldn't. And I wish, and here I am, trying to look, but I was so terrified didn't want to move. And then then it turned and walked away. And the way it huffed, or the way it grunted, was like, like it was mad that I was there. And then it turned and it walked away. And every step, I could feel the vibration off the string or the rope that I was tied to the tree. Yeah, it was very terrifying, but exciting at the same time, only because I lived. So.
Right.
Well,
had you not lived, I don't know how exciting it would be.
I had just bought some brand new shoes, and blood does not come off it. I would have been mad. Let me tell you. It could have just, I was already wrapped up as a burrito, so it could have just grabbed me, pulled me up, and carried me off.
Oh, yeah. How easy could that be?
I would just be in my hammock tent, putting pepper and salt on me, just, because I don't want him, because, basically I taste like tick repellent and mosquito lotion. So.
Not too appetizing.
No, from salt, pepper, make it worth his time.
So after that, you spent nights in forest, did you set up some kind of trail cams or anything?
So it's so funny that the times I have put the trail cams up, they always seem to fail. Like every picture comes out, or every video comes out, except for the actual video that would show what took that apple, or whatever it is, and then everything would work after that. It's just so strange. It's as if these creatures can manipulate our electronics. So something I haven't really told the world yet, and and I guess I should say it now, but we actually filmed, like we're in the forest of northern Michigan, and we actually came in contact with a giant nest, like a Bigfoot nest, or
Ooh.
maybe allegedly, but it was 8 feet in diameter and 3 feet high. You know,
Oh
and
my
it
God.
looked like a giant bird nest in the middle of the forest, and we were off trail, and literally
Wow.
15, 20 feet before we got to it, there was this kind of weird yell or scream in the forest. We all stood there like, what the was that? And then we walked about 20, 25 feet, and there was this giant nest. And it was like finding a nest that allegedly could have been done
My
by these
gosh.
Bigfoot creatures is legend. Like it's like a legend, like a whisper in the wind, because there's only a handful of other people who have found nests. And
Hmm.
I filmed the whole thing, and we took DNA samples of the ground. You know, I even sat in the nest just so I can get a picture to show people what it would look like. But
Right.
that's going to be in this next documentary that I'm working
Oh,
on
I
editing.
can't wait to see it.
I know, I'm so excited, and I hope people can. And so it's so interesting because I literally was studying the sticks that was made out of, and the sticks have been manipulated to like bend and twist. Because I grabbed some of the sticks to try and untwist it, and it was really hard. Yeah, it was really,
Wow.
really cool. It was one of the more exciting things that's happened to me.
Wow.
So,
I
yeah.
cannot say I've ever seen a nest. I would love to. So when are we going?
What to go see that? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I might actually go back to that area if it's still
Mhm.
there. It was
Right.
on this guy's property. So actually, the guy had like all this property, and it backed onto I want to say 100,000 hectares or acres of like forest.
Hmm.
So it was, I
Probably
think,
state land.
either it was state land or national state land. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
National
we
forest.
had
Okay.
walked about 2.5 hours, and we had walked off his land and into the forest, into the state forest. And yeah, so I'm going to talk to him to see maybe if it's still there, because I would love to maybe go back and look at it again. But yeah, so that's very exciting to 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 experience something like that.
Right. So when you go out and do these things, how many people go with you typically?
So I really don't like going into the forest when I do my expeditions with more than 5 people. But what's happening now is people want me to take groups
Ah,
of people out into the forest on like expeditions, not extreme expeditions, because some of these people are they're novice and they're just excited to go into the forest. So the groups I've been taking out, we go into the forest, but we don't. It's nothing like what I usually would do. Uh,
mhm.
that would uh, that would take a little bit more. Like if I was going to do that, the people I would take would have to be able to go into the forest and be able to not break a leg. That's a bonus.
Mhm.
But, um,
Right.
and
Right. That makes sense.
there's two things I tell everyone who comes out with me into the forest. Uh, Number one, I tell them no hoaxing, no throwing something into the forest and pretending it's something there, no pretending to see something when there's nothing there,
Right.
no sneaking off and going around and stomping and making it look like at the end of the night when we're all in the tent. I don't want someone pretending to be a creature and stomping around outside the tent. That's
Right.
number one. That's the number one rule. Number two is if we're out there and there's other creatures out there, like there's bear and cougar and wolves, and if something like that does come out of the forest, or even a Bigfoot does come out, or even an alien comes walking out onto the trail and goes, "Hi," don't run. That's what I tell them. Don't run. I know you're going to be scared. I'll be scared too, but let's all be scared together. Usually, if we stay together, we look bigger, and the chances of us being attacked is extremely rare, especially if there's a group of us. Once you run off, you're by yourself, and
Right.
we're in the middle of the forest. So if a Bigfoot creature or even an alien creature wants to kill us, all they have to do is just walk out,
Yeah.
twist our heads off, and that's it. So there's no point. If we're still standing there and we're not dead yet, then it's a good chance they don't want us to die. They're probably standing there thinking, we're definitely going to grab that short blonde-haired guy first. Right?
He
So,
looks kind of tasty.
yeah, he looks a little tasty. Yeah. Yeah, that's that's the two things I tell everyone. Like, please just, stay close.
That makes sense. I like that. Yeah. I mean, I know, when we go out, sometimes we split off into, the group will split
Oh,
up, and
that's
I
fine.
think, we probably should stick together.
You know what? I don't mind that. Sometimes, it's good to kind of, go in. Usually I go in with five. Five is usually the max. I mean, but, we will split up sometimes in that sense. But I just don't want us to panic,
Right.
especially if, let's say, a bear comes out. Right? I don't want us to all panic and start scattering, because that's when you'll break a leg, and then, definitely we'll all be able to get away then.
Mm-hmm.
But, we don't want to have to carry you out.
Right. Yeah. And I can see, if people start panicking, somebody's going to fall down, and then they're bait anyways. Right?
Exactly. Right. So just let me trip you. So,
And then I can run.
and then I can run.
So when is your next documentary coming out?
So I was in Oregon, and I was filming. I was with Gwendolyn Guthrie, and I was with Sherry Barsa. I was with Chad Datema, and I was speaking at this Sasquatch Summerfest conference or festival. And we went out there, and we had some crazy stuff happen out there. That was a lot of fun. We found a Bigfoot track, two tracks, and one of them got stolen.
Really?
That one got stolen. So we cast it. So we put the cast in. We went for a couple hours to go do some other exploring, and we came back, and one of the casts, the 14-inch cast, was stolen, but the 18-inch cast was totally fine. That documentary I'm working on right now. Sorry. That one is already out. I'm going to be showing it at Sasquatch Summerfest this summer in July.
Okay.
So that's exciting. So people will be able to, if they want to come, and, you can come and watch the film with me. That would be great.
So that's not available for public viewing right now.
Not yet, but it will be. It will be.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be coming out soon. And have you seen the most recent one, the one where we're in Pennsylvania?
No, I have to admit, I think you sent it or you posted it and tagged me, and I saw some of it.
Yeah. So that one's out there.
And it's like, God, but I just need time, because I don't want to I want to be able to sit down and really enjoy it.
That's no excuse. After this,
I know you can punish me. It's all good.
Get some decaf coffee, and so that one's a good one. That's you can find that on YouTube. That one on Stash TV on their YouTube channel.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, I have not seen anything by you that I didn't totally love. So people need to, tune in. So then you have this new one coming out.
Yep.
other ones are already out there. People can tune in several different places, right?
Yeah.
And I know I did mention in the beginning, but if you'd like to throw it out there again for people, that's
So
fine too.
yes, so I do have a website. It's called searchingforsasquatch.ca. They can find me on Instagram also, which is searching for Sasquatch on Instagram, and TikTok is searching Sasquatch on TikTok. Yeah, you can find me if you just search my name, searching for Sasquatch, you know, or Jason Kenzie, searching for Sasquatch, or Bigfoot Hunter. Um, yeah, there's lots of articles. If anyone's interested, I also published a comic book too.
Ooh, okay. Bill's putting something up here. Look
Oh
at
yeah, so
this.
that's it there.
Yay.
That's that's my website. People can go
Thank you, Bill.
and see that. Yeah,
Love
it's a lot to see. And then
it.
I published a comic
That's
book
cool.
too called Searching with Sasquatch and the hidden
How
treasure of
fun,
Bigfoot
huh?
Valley. And there's the she squatchers are there, and there's Todd Parsons,
Yay.
and then it's yeah, it's an elite group of Bigfoot researchers that go into the forest looking for a dog that was taken by Bigfoot, and we pass through a portal into this new realm of and then there's like flying dinosaurs, there's plants that will eat you, and venomous, and lots of waterfalls, and we find all this treasure. We find all this gold and jewels and stuff, and a certain blonde-headed um, filmmaker guy got greedy and wants all the gold. And big people are trying to stop us from taking the gold, and there's a reason why the Bigfoots are having trouble, killing us or at least stopping us. You have to watch. You have to read the comic. Also, I have a children's book too.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
So there's a children's book called Adventures of Little JJ, and
Isn't that cool?
this one is, so you see the little Loch Ness monster, and you see a little ghost, and over here is a little moth boy, and then a little First Nations girl, and the little Sasquatch girl gets lost from her
How
family,
cool.
and we have to help her find find a way home. And this is yeah, it's really colorful, has lots of words, and that's a lot of fun. And then I
And
have
this is all available on his website. And Bill has, thank
Amazon.
you for Bill for everything. He also put your link up here.
This is the other one too. It's called To Save Bigfoot, and has the she squatchers. They're all little kids, and we have to rescue and save the Bigfoot. And same thing. It has lots of colors. I wanted to make it really colorful, and I wanted to teach kids not to be scared of Bigfoot, and
Yeah.
yeah, and you can find it on Amazon under Adventures of Little JJ.
How cool. How cool is that? And I
Yeah,
love it. It is good for the kids because, I've said for a long time, we need to normalize the paranormal so people aren't afraid and
yeah,
people don't feel like they're crazy. Okay, Bill just
exactly.
let us know we're down to 5 minutes. Um, but yes, all of that's on your website. I can testify to the fact that you're very easy to stalk
Yeah,
because
yes.
after I met you, it's like, oh, I need to find more. Look at this. Bill, you're great. I need to find more about this guy. And I typed your name and it was like, holy crap, this is going to take me all day. There's all this information out there. He's got all these documentaries out there and everything's so cool. You'll just get lost in typing in your name and finding all of your cool stuff.
Well, on YouTube, you can find all my animal adventures for anyone that likes animal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because before I did Bigfoot, before I got into Bigfoot, I was a animal photojournalist. So I would travel the world meeting people with exotic animals as pets.
Yes, you did. I saw
Yeah.
those.
So there's a lot of animal videos on YouTube under Jason Kenzie's Animal Adventures. So if anyone likes the find they're behind the scenes of my photo shoots.
Right.
You kind of see all the fun stuff with that. And if you actually Google Jason Kenzie real life monster hunter, you can actually find a news article that was written
I'm writing that down.
of the Bigfoot nest experience. A reporter with me that wanted to go into the forest. First time he's ever went on a Bigfoot expedition. In fact, it was the first time he went into the forest. And here we are at nighttime, and we could see like eyes shine, and we could hear creatures walking, or something walking around in the forest around us. And this guy was just having a blast. He'd stay quite close to my side, and he wrote a big article that was in the newspaper. It went, I don't know, there's quite a few thousands of people that read it, but it was really exciting to be acknowledged for all the hard work that I do.
Yes, you do. You dedicate your life to this, and it shows. It really does show, because the passion in your work is, I think, part of the beauty of it. It helps get the people excited. It helps people to learn what's out there and what you do. And, like with the kids, it helps eliminate that fear.
Yeah. And
it really does.
This is what this is adventures of little JJ, and little JJ went into the ocean and had to look for the lost golden pearl.
Oh.
And he had help from all the little sea creatures. But I really wanted kids not to be afraid of the water or animals.
Bless your heart for that. And it's not only kids; it's big people too. So you're helping everybody, and it's high time. It really is. So I know we're down to like a minute or so. I want to announce again that you, Jason Kenzie, will be speaking at the Michigan UFO Contact, September 26th, 27th. We are so excited to have you. You will have your books there as well, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to have my comic books for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have my comic books, and you know what? Maybe I'll bring some children's books too, just so
I think you should.
Yeah, I'll even sign it. I know it looks like chicken scratch, but I'll do that for anyone that wants my chicken scratch.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So everybody get your tickets to the conference. Jason will be there. We've announced a few other people, but tonight it's about you. Thank you for being on. I know we're out of time, but let's do this again soon. And everybody get your tickets. Come see Jason. I love you to pieces. I know Arjay does too.
See everyone.
Good night, everybody. Everyone have a fantastic week. And until we meet again, I'm going to put this up there. May all of your awakenings be mystical. We love you. Good night.